BreatheEasy. It is a real-time air quality monitoring system that is used to raise awareness about the rise in air pollution and provide users with actionable recommendations to protect their health based on the AQI levels. The key features of this project include real-time AQI data based on location, historical data visualization to observe the air quality changes over time, predictive analysis for the next few days, and health recommendations based on the AQI levels. The tech stacks include backend Python and Flask, front-end HTML and CSS for styling, API used as OpenWeatherMap API, data visualization, Matplotlib library, machine learning, scikit-learn, and version control used as GitHub. The file structure includes a CSS file for styling, JavaScript file that is script.js, index.html which is the front end, and AQI history which is the sample for the current location, and Python files that has the Flask application and data visualization, machine learning model, and dependency list. The usage of this project is to provide real-time AQI data, historical data visualization, predictive analysis, and provide health recommendation. The setup instructions is to clone the repository, install the dependencies, replace your actual OpenWeatherMap API key, run the Flask application, and visit the URL in the web browser. Here I have attached the screenshot of how I've installed the dependencies and run the Flask application. It provides the AQI analysis of various locations, like I've included Kolkata and Arnstein. Here is the contribution guideline of how to clone the repository and open a pull request if you want to change anything, and the license here used is MIT. Now let's dive into the coding part of the project. Here various files are there which I have mentioned in the file structure. You can see the AQI history.csv, that is the sample AQI history for a specific location. Here is the sample JSON file for Kolkata, and then we have the Python files, that is app.py. It has imported various libraries like Flask and fetch AQI, and then we have the get recommendation function that takes AQI value as input and provide recommendations. If it's less than 50, it's good. Between 50 to 100, moderate, and greater than that, unhealthy. Here we have the index function that fetches the AQI, and we have recommendation that takes AQI value as input and returns the AQI value to the front end part. Now we have the next Python file, that is fetch AQI Python file. Here it imports libraries of requests, and then we have the main part, that is the API key, the latitude and longitude of a random location you can put here, and then we have the fetch AQI function which takes the base URL. Used here is OpenWeatherMap, and then we have the try block which fetches requests from the URL and then processes the data. We have the exact format for the AQI value to fetch from the OpenWeatherMap application. It prints the current AQI of that specific location and the latitude and longitude of that specific location, and returns the AQI value to the front end part, that is the HTML file. It also raises exceptions, errors, if any errors are encountered. Next we have the predict.py file. It imports libraries like pandas and scikit-learn. Then we have the predict future AQI function that prints the days, and it uses linear regression and prints the AQI value also, and predicted AQI for the next 7 days it prints and then returns the predictions. We have the visualization AQI file where it imports pandas and matplotlib library. We have that it loads the historical data, that is the date, and it prints the date and air quality index of particular dates. We can find that in the CSV file. Next we have the style.css, that is the UI style for the front end. Next we have the JavaScript file, that is the script.js. Then next we have the index.html file, which is the skeleton for the front end part. Next we have the readme file. Here we have described what the project is, and then we have the dependencies list we can see in the requirements file. Here we need to install all these requirements prior to running the application. Now I will show you how I've run the Flask application, how I've installed the requirements list, dependencies list. You can see that I have run that in my project folder, and I've run the Flask application. Here is my project folder with the files, and I've run the Flask application. I've installed the requirements.txt, that is the dependencies. Prior to that, you need to install it prior to running the application, and here it's giving a URL to visit in the web browser. On clicking on the URL, you can see the front end part. It also prints the AQI value for that particular location and latitude and longitude of that location. Now let's visit the front end part. Here it is the front end part. You can see. Let's visit the URL. It prints the AQI value of that particular location and provides recommendations according to that. Thank you.